Hello, 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 everybody. How are you doing this morning? Hi Jessica. Hi, Zenvira. How do you say your name? Please let me know. Zenvira, that's beautiful. Hi Evelina. Yay, welcome everybody. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Zenvira, great, fantastic. Hi, yay from San Diego. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if the music is audible sufficiently. There we go. Okay, fantastic. And let me know how you're doing this morning. How are you feeling? It is Friday morning for me. How are you doing on your Friday, whatever time of day it is? And we will add some Zen doodling to our day, a little pocket of peace, a little corner of calm, a little creative expression. Fantastic, you can hear. You're cold and it's very windy in Boston, but excited for Friday. Fantastic. That's actually next week I'm going to be doodling from Massachusetts as well, except we'll be in the rural area. So Zenvira, 3 p.m. here. Where are you? Where's 3 p.m.? Hi Florgie, welcome all the way from Hungary. Yay! So good to see all the friends. Jessica, you've got your neurographic art at the library. Fantastic. And 25 people and some waitlisted. That's fantastic. Just goes to show how valuable and important this kind of work is. And yes, so excited for you. Well done. Technically rural, just say Boston because it's easier. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're preparing ourselves to depart the kind of spring vibes here in DC and get ready for some winter vibes in Massachusetts. Zenvira, you're in England. Where in England? You're at the seaside or next to it. Okay, all my family is in Bristol in the southwest. So when I speak of home, that's where I'm speaking of. Bristol in England. Fantastic to have you all here. Thank you for joining. And I'm excited about this morning's doodle because I'm doing a little experiment. Haven't done it before and not really sure how it's going to turn out, but that is part of the creative process, is the willingness, having the willingness to experiment, and also being willing to fail, because it's in our failures that we learn, right? So you're going to be learning along with me today. So I hope that you're excited about that as well. Oh, you've been to Bristol? Yes, it is. It's lovely. It's a lovely little, big city. Very big city. Okay, so as we do always on our sessions, we do start with drawing of a card. So let's see, this is a little extra inspiration for us today. And while I shuffle, so this is where the experimentation of today's doodling session comes in. This week, so if you don't know, I do a lot of art journaling just for my own practice. It is, I think I've shared the analogy before that to me, doodling and creativity in general is for mental well-being, it's for self-care, self-love, all of those good things, and it equates to mental health equating to dental health. That when we've got like big root canals and things like that we need to get seen to, we go and get the professional person to help us manage that. But it's still our responsibility to brush every day, and we still have to have our daily maintenance. So that's what doodling is. It's our daily maintenance for our emotional well-being, our mental well-being, our self-care. It is a form of active meditation. And so I invite you, if you can, if you feel called to to practice every day, even if it is just 10 minutes. You know, brushing your teeth is apparently a 2-minute process. So if you've only got 2 minutes, do a 2-minute doodle. Maybe it's a bigger piece that you're working on and you just got 2 minutes to do a little bit of that, a little section of that bigger piece. But maybe it's also just a tiny little doodle. So it is something that I encourage you to do every day as part of your emotional, mental, and self-care maintenance. And what came to me this week during my personal practice was, I don't know what, I can't remember what sparked it, but just if I were to think of a symbol that represents me, and this, I'm posing this question to you now, contemplate, what symbol represents you? Because that for me was quite a profound, in terms of doodling, realization, and actually brought quite a bit of clarity, because it made me realize why I am drawn to certain, and pardon the pun, why I am drawn to certain doodles. So I'll share with you, and feel free to share with me what comes up. What was your intuitive initial response when you contemplated that question? What symbol represents you? For me, it was a tree. That's, if I were to define myself by a symbol, it would be a tree. And for me, it represents groundedness, that it is rooted, it has like an outward expression, but it also has an inward expression where its roots are deep beneath the surface that nobody else can see. And it's grounded, it's both, it can move in the wind, it's flexible at the top, but it is rooted and sturdy in the ground. And as we feed the bottom, so the top expands and grows. So that just resonates for me. That is why it resonated for me, and it comes up a lot for me. I just love trees in general. I am literally a tree hugger, and if I get the chance, while I'm walking around, I will just place my hand on the trunk of the tree. When the weather is enough or warm enough, I will go and sit under a tree, take my shoes and socks off, get my feet on the ground, in amongst the roots of the tree. So yeah, just a personal sharing here, and I would love to hear from you if you feel called to share. Is there a symbol that resonates for you? Zenvira, your cat's sitting in Brighton at the moment. Divine, I'm going to be cat sitting in Massachusetts next week. It is said that Brighton and Bristol are related. They both have an arty indie vibe. Yes. I've never been to Brighton, but I've heard that connection too. Hi Kathy, good morning. Good morning. You really love the plant life doodles. Awesome, ones with leaves. I'm so with you on that one. I am so with you on that one. So that's the kind of experimentation and theme that we're going to be playing with today. And I would really like, going forward, to include these kinds of symbols. So if you have something that you'd like to share, I would like to create a little wheel that picks out these symbols that we can draw. So today we are going to be drawing a tree. But before we draw a tree, let's draw a card and see what our additional contemplation invitation is. And this is a lovely one. Optimism. Is this the right way for you? It's backwards on my screen, and I feel like I ask that every time. Optimism. Okay, great. So the card says, I believe that somehow, some way, wonderful things will always happen. Isn't that awesome? Optimism. Divine. I think that's a lovely little reminder for us today to choose optimism and to believe that wonderful things will happen. Because, things will happen anyway, and we may as well decide that good things will happen. So the next kind of grounding process for us getting into our practice this morning will be our breathing exercise. So grab yourself, your drawing instruments, your drawing materials, whether that is analog, paper, pen, journal, book, pencils, whatever it is that you're drawn to, or, and I keep using that pun, please excuse me, or it could be digital, which is my preferred way of doodling. So grab your bits and pieces, your pens, your papers, your tablets, everything that you need. Grab something to drink if you need to. Get yourself comfortable. I'm gonna get things sorted on this side. Excuse me while I do this. And what I will say as well, hold on one second. I am busy updating our Doodle reference sheet. So if you see here, this is the reference sheet that we work from during these Doodle sessions. And the original one is in a chat thread within Substack. So once I've completed the update here, I've still got a couple of squares or rectangles to complete. I'll be putting that one there. The link you can get in my profile. And thank you for the suggestions. I did do a Linktree page, so now it's super easy to get to all the places from my Insight Timer profile. And then you can download the reference sheet yourself. And I just wanted to share that I decided, and this is part of our personal evolutions, notice what you feel, like how do you feel when you're interacting with something? And for me specifically, in this regard, I was finding that there were certain patterns that I wasn't resonating with anymore. It's a personal choice, and so if you want to keep working from the old reference sheet, by all means you can. But I just noticed that I was like, I'm disappointed that that's the one that came up. And so because I noticed that, I decided to do something about it. Because how often do we go through life realizing, or maybe not even realizing, that we're not happy about something, or we're not ecstatic about something, or we're disappointed with something, and we do nothing about it. We just carry on carrying on. We just keep doing things the way they've always been done. And that's a surefire way to stay stagnant. So hence, I'm doing an update. I'm doing a little declutter. It's an ongoing process. And so I will be filling these in. Again, this is my personal preference. You don't have to follow along if you don't want to, but I'm sharing it anyway. I just want to go live on Substack while we are here, because that's what we do, go live. And yeah, I believe we are connecting. Right. Okay, yes, fun to see there is still lots of those I haven't tried. And that's the thing with this practice, is that it is an ongoing experimentation, and we can repeat a lot of the same patterns, but also we can make them up as we go along. And that's the muscle that we're flexing when we embrace our creativity. So yeah, so you can grab this, the old reference sheet, or once I've completed this, I'll be putting this in the same chat thread, and the link is in my bio. But what we always do when we start these drawing processes, or these doodle practices, is that we start with a breathing practice. So we're going to do that now. So just take a little moment to take a couple of deep breaths. And the one drawing of our breath that I've been drawn to of late is the horizontal line, solid horizontal line for an in-breath, and then 8 dots on the out-breath, and repeating that. So as an example, inhale. Oh, get onto the right layer. Inhale, solid. No, get your pen. And exhale. and inhale. Exhale. Okay. So that always grounds me. I hope it grounds you, and you're ready to do some doodling. Hi Rebecca, is that a tablet I'm using? Yes, it's an iPad. Yes, thank you Jessica. You're on it. But you can also use pen and paper 100%. Don't have to go digital. This all works, and you can do it digitally. Okay, so grab your piece of paper on which we're going to be doing our drawing. So as I said, today we're going to take inspiration from the tree, and we're going to be doodling within the tree. So I will explain as we go along. If you are new here, I do make use of a wheel to help us decide on which doodle designs we're going to be using, hence the reference sheet, and also helps us decide how many different sections. So that'll be how many different doodle designs or doodle patterns we're going to be using. In today's practice, given that we're doing a tree, if you can imagine that there are clumps of leaves, like little bunches on the tree, so we will draw the tree trunk, and then we're going to have these bunches of grouped leaves that we're going to fill with doodle patterns. And this one is going to tell us how many of those bunches are we going to have in our tree. Okay, 4. Fantastic. So this is the concept. Obviously, we've all seen a tree before, and it does start with the trunk. So we're going to draw a trunk, and we will be doodling the trunk as well. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is not an art class, and this is certainly not teaching you any kind of art techniques. It is the practice, not the outcome. So this is not a place for perfectionism. All right, and so we want to have 4 clumps of leaves on the tree. We're going to be doodling them. So I'm kind of making these very simplistic cloud type shapes, and they can overlap as well. They can be different sizes, completely up to you. It's your tree. Okay. So however you want to do your little groupings, we're going to be doodling within these shapes. And I'm also going to draw the ground, because a tree is rooted in the ground, and maybe even do some suggestion of the roots. You know, oftentimes you see tree roots on the surface of the ground. So however you feel called to express your tree, that is what we are doing. Okay, and then we will be doodling within our bunches on the tree. So here we get to decide, and by all means, again, you decide. If you don't want to follow along specifically, you don't have to. You can follow your intuition, and you can decide on your own doodle patterns, but otherwise we will let the wheel decide. So column A and row 9, and then we will see if that's so. Column A, row 9. Okay, so it is these, they kind of look like mushrooms, upside down mushrooms. So we're going to start with the circles and then the shapes on the outside, which we can outline, and then we will do the inside. Okay, so choose whichever patch of tree you want to do that on, and we're going to start. You can decide how big you want your little mushroomy flowers to be, whether you want to do it with a thick pen, with a thin pen. The thinner your pen, the more detail you will be able to add. Also, the smaller your little mushroomy flowers, you know, the more intricate it will be, the longer it will take. So I guess I'm going to do mine around about that. And we had a double circle, and then we have the mushroomy shape. And then we had an outline for the mushroomy shape. And then from here, we had little lines. And be mindful, watching your breath, noticing how you're breathing, just to ground you back into your body, because this is a very sensory practice. You are engaging not only your mind, but also your body. We have the music playing, sensory, auditory experience. You have the pen in your hand. Notice how tight you're holding the pen. Relax it if you feel comfortable doing so. And something else that has been very top of mind of late, because I spend so many hours drawing, is noticing my posture. Oh my goodness. Illustrator posture is a thing. And I'm certainly not getting any younger. I have evolved my creation station to a floor desk, hence I'm sitting in front of the couch. And I have been very tuned in to how my body is feeling during the day, at the end of the day, so that I can optimize my posture, my drawing position. And it all comes down to awareness. Okay, so when you've done one little flower, you can start with your next one. Let me know if you've got any questions. more comments. Fried egg, I like that. Yes, it also looks like a fried egg. Also looks a bit like poppies. I'm getting poppy vibes. Your lines don't need to be perfect. This is not about perfection at all. This is about giving your brain a break, tuning in to how you actually feel. Both physically, emotionally, mentally. This is a self-care practice. And in self-care, there's no judgment. Just awareness, acknowledgement, acceptance, compassion. And in this case, creativity. Feel free to move your page around so that your hand, your elbow, your shoulder, your neck is at its most comfortable. One thing in my research that came up in posture is that good posture isn't comfortable. It's comfortable to lounge back or hunch forward, but just because it's comfortable doesn't mean it's good for you. And so there is a lot of engagement of the core, as they say. And what I've come to experience engaging the core to mean is kind of imagining a corset tightening both front, side and back, and I can feel how it supports my spine. It's not comfortable, but it does feel good for me. So I'm paying attention to that while I draw. You can draw as if you're, I'm going to call them poppies now. You can draw as if your poppies are overlapping with each other or with other sections of your tree. Makes me so happy. I even have I'm such a tree nerd, I even have a list of my top 3 favorite trees. And I test my husband to know if he knows what my favorites are. Remember to breathe, take a deep breath. Being inspired by the tree, think about what grounds you. What makes you feel rooted and grounded. Give a mental thanks for that. I often like to write down as my brain starts to relax during these doodles and kind of opens up the door to inspiration and things I'm grateful for. I like to write those down. The drawing process often stimulates many of those reminders. So if anything comes up in terms of things that ground you, maybe things that have helped you grow, things that have taught you flexibility. Just write them down. Hi Inga. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. We're doing a tree today, Inga. If you have completed your first pattern, you might feel called to start coloring in if you want to, or just sit back and relax and enjoy the music and watch and wait till we carry on, or you might choose to continue with your own chosen design next. I've completed mine, so I'm going to carry on and see which pattern the wheel says to do next. If you haven't yet finished your first section, don't worry, it's not a race, and the invitation is to complete this as you go, as you feel called to. So let's see. Row number 15, column C. Row number 15, column C. Oh, I like that. Little polka dot. Different size polka dots with thin lines. So if you do have different size pens, a thicker outline and then thinner lines inside. Okay. So choose which of your tree sections you're going to do that in. I think I'll do mine up here. And just start. It's kind of like apples or oranges in the tree. Very appropriate. Fruit. Our trees bear fruit. And isn't that just an appropriate analogy? Our creativity bears fruit. You might feel called after the fact to fill in the negative space with either a different design or color. Remember to breathe. Okay. And then we're going to fill each circle with parallel lines. I like to make mine go in different directions so they're not all matchy-matchy, but the choice is yours. Move your paper around. Notice your posture. Move if you need to. Bye, Florgy. Usually takes me a couple of days to complete and add color pencil. Yes, Trish, it does for me too. Definitely does for me too. And I love it. I love that it is a mini project to come back to. And certainly is something that, when you're feeling overwhelmed during the course of the day and you need a little breather or a little palate cleanser for your mind, your body, it is a lovely palate cleanser between adulting tasks. Just disengages the brain. Very much like the adult coloring in practice. Except I love that we are, drawing our own coloring in pages. So there is very much a two-step experience here. It's the drawing of the doodle and then the coloring in of the doodle. I've been very drawn to the chakra colors as colors to color in with, but also muted greens, natural tones. And sometimes I just keep it monochrome. Because color also says a lot about what you're feeling as well. And your color choice can also be part of the maintenance, the self-care, noticing which colors you're drawn to. You like to do a little bit before bed, it calms you. Yes, me too. Angela, are you using a light table or drawing on a tablet? It's an iPad and I'm using the Procreate app. Yeah, I suppose it does look a bit like a light table, but it's just because I like to draw digitally. It aligns with my values of minimalism and keeping things decluttered, but that's just my personal preference. And most people would do this analog with actual paper and pen, but it all has the same effect, the practice of relaxing your mind, doing something creative, something that is for nobody else but you. Something that is about the process and not the outcome. And the point is to find what works for you. And it's an ongoing evolution, it's an ongoing experimentation. From which patterns, which subjects, to where do you actually do your doodling? Do you have a sacred space? Specific favorite chair or a room in your house? Do you carve out time specifically to do it? Because the brain does love ritual. It gives it the practice significance. Benefits that I've experienced since making this part of my daily personal practice is I feel more calm, more patient, less judgmental of what I create, more awareness of what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, how my body's feeling. And more appreciation for the simple things, because it's very easy to discount things that seem inconsequential or seem at first glance perhaps childish or unscientific or unprofessional, all these judgments. But if it makes you feel good, it is significant. And if it helps you flex your peace muscle, your calm muscle, your patience muscle, your awareness muscle, then it's good for you. Angela, I'm just getting started, but I have a small size journal and go to it in an indie coffee shop with a nice atmosphere. Love that. Oh, that's awesome. Absolutely love that. When the weather is warmer, I want to go out to the park and sit under a tree and do my doodling. Claire, can you show me your whole screen for a sec? Sure. There we go. That's what it looks like. I've just finished my little polka dots. There you go. So that's what that looks like for now. How are you doing with yours? With your patterns? I love how this is turning out. And I'm excited to color this in after the fact. I am going to shift here before choosing the next, or letting the wheel choose the next pattern. So column A, row 8. Column A, row 8. Ooh, more flowers. Okay, this is a nice one. So lots of kind of daisy looking flowers interspersed with ferny looking fronds. So it is a make it up as you go along. Can you see that? This is the one, number 8. That's what we're going to do in our next section of the tree. Kate, we drew this. We drew this ourselves, so it is not a... Well, if you're referring to the tree, we drew this morning. The reference sheet, this is... I did draw this reference sheet, and as you can see, I'm still filling in some sections that I'm updating. And you can access this. There's a link in my profile, my teacher profile, where you can download this reference sheet. Absolutely free. All you need to do is sign up to Substack, which is free to do. So I'm not gathering email addresses or anything. You just can't get it. Okay, so we're going to do our daisies and our fronds. Let's do this one. So daisies of all different shapes and sizes. So we'll start like this. Over here, do different petals. You really can just make it up as you're going along. And oftentimes, I can just, as I'm doing this now, I can acknowledge how far I've come in my doodle practice, because when I first started, I was very much hearing that voice saying, what if I do it wrong? What if I don't do it well enough? What if I mess it up? And here, a wiser version of myself who has experimented and gotten it wrong many times is not attached and willing to see what happens. Very flower powery. Okay, I'm going to add in some fronds, so just wanted to reference, here it is, if you're looking at the fronds, so it's got the central, do you call it a vein, and then the leaves coming off of that. Okay, do it from here. Remember to relax your shoulders, relax your hand on the pen. Notice your posture. I just noticed myself slouching. seem to be doing a lot of these fronds. Finding it quite a bit easier to start them from the top. Shape isn't perfect. Jessica, you said that. Lovely. And then obviously we will be filling the daisies with different kinds of designs as well. I might do another one over here. Oh dear. Start from here. In nature, every leaf isn't the same either. Absolutely. Yes. There's so much we can learn if we just stop and observe what nature does by default. I feel like we get so much in our heads we forget. Oops. I find these sessions also so valuable in that it does kind of force me, force isn't the right word, but holds me accountable to my own creative self-care. Because when you're busy with day-to-day life, it is easy to excuse it away, to say it's not important, not right now, not in this moment. And when you do that often enough, eventually you're not doing it at all. And your self-care goes out the window. Okay, I'm gonna start doing some detail in the flowers. I can also recognize in my own doodling journey that I didn't trust myself enough to make it up as I go along. I didn't think that I could access creative ideas. But it's one of those things that the more you do it, the more access you have to creative ideas. As with anything, practice means progress. So sometimes, as much as I like to get inspiration from others, I also like to challenge myself to make it up. Amy, hi. Curious if there are kids' reference patterns. Would love to practice with my young ones as well. Some great teachings and learning in the process. Yes. In fact, all of these, I believe all of these doodle patterns would be suitable for kids as well. You get very simplistic ones. Do a search on Pinterest because it's a wealth of inspiration there. That's my go-to for inspiration is Pinterest. Yeah, Jessica's tried it with her 7-year-old. Yeah, I love that you're doing art that doesn't focus on perfection, as that's something we're working on. Yes, 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 yes. So good. Such a valuable lesson for kids. Focus on the process. And a great reminder for us to detach from the outcome. There are many aspects in life where we hold on so much to our expectation of the outcome that it just doesn't do us any favors. So allow yourself to just see what patterns work, what doesn't work, what does work. Challenge yourself to come up with your own. There is something very liberating in being your own source of inspiration. No, I often turn and accidentally change to eraser. Okay, and a few more ferns, I think. Jessica, it was so exciting. He had art class yesterday and they had to draw their cozy space, and the teacher told me he tried 5 times and said, "I'm not giving up." That's amazing! That is huge. That's so fantastic. Jessica, do you plan to colour this later? Yes, I do. I do indeed. In fact, I'm very excited about it. But oftentimes my colouring happens after the live session has ended. I like to do colouring in the evenings when I'm watching TV. Supposedly watching TV. Okay, just checking the time. I'm going to move on. I think I'm going to fill in a few more fronds after the fact, but I want to carry on to the next design to complete our little tree segments and then our trunk. So let's see which row. Row number 10, and then column A. Row 10, column A. Oh, it's a blank. Okay. Let's do the row again because I need to fill that in. Row 12. Let's go A12. A12. Okay, so these are some also leafy kind of designs, and you'll see that there is kind of a pattern to it. I'm going to say take creative license here and decide how you want these shapes to be. I feel like I'm going to make it a lot more organic and less specific like that. So we're going to make some spaces and then fill with these leafy patterns and then fill the negative space. So here's what I mean. Make sure I'm on the right layer. So filling this space with some crisscrossing lines. And then from there, let's go there. Okay, and then from there, we're going to have a central point and just do these petal or leaf shapes, all coming back to the same central point. Jessica, in the colouring app I told you about last week, yes, pigment, there are Doodle alphabet colouring pages reminded me of our A to Z session. That's awesome. Yay! So it's a definite thing. I found some beautiful alphabet. For those who don't know, every alternate week we do alphabet doodle designs. So where we are filling in a tree today, we fill in letters of the alphabet. And the other day I found some alphabet letters filled with all manner of natural elements, leaves, flowers, all essentially what we're creating today. And it just, it is so creatively yummy. Pay attention to what your other hand is doing right now. While your dominant hand is drawing, what is your other hand doing? And if it's tense in any way, invite it to relax. Check your posture. Notice your breathing. Nope. With this pattern, we will fill in all the negative space between the petals like this. So if you do finish your petal shapes and you want to continue, you can start to do the negative space filling in like that. And then as well you could add a little detail to the petals just to give you options. There's a completed one for your reference. Oops. like how our tree experiment is coming out. Not that I'm attached to the outcome, but I'm thrilled that the concept worked. That is the beauty of experimenting. Sometimes it works. I'm down to my final little section, and so I intend to continue with this detail within the rest of this section. But before our time runs out, I just want to show you the concept or the design or pattern for the trunk. And so I'm going against the grain and not referring to the wheel, but instead just following inspiration. I feel like I want to put just a little squirrel hidey hole there where a squirrel might go, a little notch in the tree, and then doing some lines that run from the top of the trunk down to the roots, following the shape. Doesn't need to be perfect at all. There it is. This little cloth helps me glide. I find this style of line, I don't know, there's something soothing about it. And following the roots from the top of the trunk. And I love how, by not trying to be perfect, there are imperfections that come into the line, and then you keep following that. It adds something organic. go. Isn't that awesome? It is. Evelina, you're saying amazing that the tree has mostly flower designs. I think that's probably more a function of the reference sheet, because I put the patterns that speak to me. And I welcome you to create your own reference sheet. You know, I just took inspiration from what I found, what I enjoyed doing, and as you can see, I'm checking in with myself to see which are the patterns that I am least excited about when the wheel chooses them, and take them out and replace them with something that resonates more. So if you want to create your own little reference sheet, by all means, go ahead and do that. That's all that I did. Right, so that brings us more or less to the end of our 90-minute session. So we haven't fully completed. I feel like I want to do a little bit more fern work behind the flowers over here, and then fill in the negative space and do these details on the petals of these daisies, and then ultimately color it in. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how this came out. I hope that you enjoyed making this as well. I'd like for you to check in with yourself and just notice, how are you feeling right now? Maybe take a little breath. Let me bring you back here. I'm glad that you enjoyed this, Kathy. Well done. Yay. Jessica, you're most welcome. Excited to work on this weekend. Me too. And if you feel called at all to share your doodle designs, I have put a link in my profile, and that'll take you to a thread where you can share your finished work if you want to. No obligation, but if you want to, you can. That's certainly where I will be sharing my finished doodle. Yeah, and I'm so glad that you joined this morning. I hope that you take away some relaxation, that you feel a sense of self-care, that like this session really just carved out some peace, some calm energy, some creativity. Even if you weren't doodling and you were just watching, listening to the music, feeling the intention of the peace that these sessions encompass. Yeah, I hope you walk away feeling a little bit more zen as, yeah, the intention of these sessions. Fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining. I so appreciate you showing up. It really does ignite the enthusiasm in me, and I hope to reflect that back to you. Creativity is contagious, and I'm all about spreading that contagion. Yay, Amy, this filled your creative cup for today. I'm so glad. Fantastic. Thank you for hosting and providing this space and time for this. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining. Yeah, do not underestimate the healing powers of creativity. It really is something we often take for granted. So thank you for joining. We will be doing our next doodle session, same place, same time next week. And we go back to our bi-weekly session of the alphabet doodling. So see you then. It is already registered live, so you can already set that reminder. And otherwise, I will see you then. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.